What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we have the information for the next end of month batch right here, which is going to be focusing on the Blackbeard pirates once again. Now, we kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case, considering we had the Kizuna clash with Vasco shot, we had the 6+ of Blackbeard drop, but the fact that they're dropping Vasco shot and then Devon, and I guess a bit of a spoiler because we will have a look at it eventually, is going to be Vasco shot. So we're already getting 3 Blackbeard pirate characters in the last 2 major Sugo fests. So a lot of people are predicting at this point that we're going to get all of the Blackbeard pirates getting their own dedicated legend. However, we'll see, because we did get a Shiryu legend like earlier this year. That Shiryu legend's very good, by the way. So I'm wondering what exactly they're going to do here, whether these guys synergize with pre-existing characters, or are they just going to go straight off the cuff and give us like a legend for these characters that haven't had one yet? I'm going to pull up a list of all the Blackbeard pirates once again, just to have a look. Oh my god, the amount of ads on this website is freaking ridiculous. Either way, these are the Blackbeard pirates, obviously. So in terms of the legends, maybe a new Kuzan would be kind of cool, but that might also not be the case, as we'll talk about in just a moment. Doc Q and also Stronger doesn't have a legend yet. Stronger, obviously being the horse, doesn't have a legend, so we'll see. That would be ridiculous if Stronger ends up getting a legend. That'd be so sick. Vasco Shot has one. CATARINA Devon and Vasco has one, and then Van Orga just got one. Lafitte doesn't have one, which is interesting, but Lafitte hasn't had much opportunity to really do anything in the story yet. We do have the Rumble legend of Avalo Pizarro, so we'll see. They could go through a lot of different ways, but Katarina Devon is going to be the first character here. Now, one thing I do want to point your attention to is that typically, let me just go back to the news post, right? Typically, when they release a new major character, so let's say if we go over to this one right here, which is the Super Sugo Fest exclusive characters that we had of the last batch. No, actually, maybe this is a better version if we go to the Luffy release, which I believe was this one right here. So what they did is they specified if a certain character was like a normal legend or not. So you said Luffy will be it says super amazing guy at the Super Festival. This is the Japanese translation. We need the English translation. Bartholomew Kuma will be a normal legend. So they mentioned specifically that like Bartholomew Kuma is a normal legend. So the fact that they do that is interesting, because they specify for that. But for this one right here with Katarina Devon, we don't know whether this is going to be an anniversary exclusive, whether it is... well, we know it's not a Super Sugo. We know that it's not going to be a Super Sugo Fest, but the fact that it could be an anniversary exclusive is the thing, because last year for the half anniversary, which is like 11th or 12th of November, what they did is they actually did the end of month batch for October was the start of the half annie, and those were anniversary exclusives. So depending on the abilities here, this could or could not be an anniversary exclusive. We shall see. Let's actually just get into what this character actually does. Driven Powerhouse, Int, no major surprise there, okay? Let's have a look here. Special ability, hand that touched one of the 5 elders. So Devon's special, which is a 15-turn cooldown, she does have super tandem boost, which is interesting. 7-turn despair removal, boost the attack of the next final tap of Int, Driven, or Powerhouse by 30%. If your HP is 50% or below when you launch, increased damage dealt to enemies with a specific status effect by 0.5. Okay. When 3 or more Blackbeard pirates are on the crew, you get Int Territory for 1 turn, and it ignores immunity, inflict increased damage taken to all enemies, 2.25, otherwise it's a 2x. Okay, so if you have the 3 or more Blackbeard pirates, you get the Territory and the increased damage through immunity, otherwise it's just 2x. Now, when I look at this special doesn't look anniversary exclusive level. Like, this looks like a normal legend, in my honest opinion. The fact that it does apply a territory, though, may give credence to it being an anniversary exclusive, because I don't know too many other regular legends that are applying territory. Typically, territories are exclusive for the higher end Sugofest exclusives. So it is interesting that they do apply that. Maybe what they are aiming to do with all of these characters is they are supposed to be working with Versus Blackbeard, because Versus Blackbeard is a powerhouse-centric character. He is also Int, so maybe that's the goal here. Maybe the goal here is to make this character focused with versus Blackbeard, especially if they do focus in on the final tap effect, because versus Blackbeard's potential ability is a Rush Sugo special, and the way that it works is that if you first tap with the Rush of Blackbeard, it only buffs striker characters because of lore, but then the final tap will buff that character's direct attack boost. So this would work, making Teach's like last tap Rush really, really strong. Captain ability here is boosting int driven powerhouse 5.25 1.5 HP. Okay, int slots matching makes all type slots matching for themselves, makes this character's type slots matching. Okay, so basically this character has all matching slots. Interesting. And then based on tags, if you have 3 or more Blackbeard Pirates get a further 1.1, which is 5.25 multiplied by 1.1. 5.775, it's like fine. If you have 3 or more Blackbeard Pirates on the crew, when the crew would be inflicted with paralysis from a special, including support, or an enemy action, the captain ability instead changes that paralysis effect to a 2.75 times attack boost for int, powerhouse, and driven for 2 turns regardless of the effect. That's pretty good. So essentially you are immune to paralysis, alternating that effect to an attack boost. This effect is quite good for normal content. In high damage content, it's not that great because you obviously would want to apply an attack boost that far exceeds this, but still this is really good in normal content where you just have to get around gimmicks. Usually damage isn't a big problem in normal content, and just being able to avoid the gimmick but also just get an attack boost off of that instead, actually pretty solid. But this is the type of captain that's not going to help you in high damage content. It's more of just a neat kind of captain that can work well if you're focusing on the Blackbeard Pirates, of course. Crewmate ability. This character's own slots are matching for themselves. Cannot be stunned is interesting because this character does not have an effect to reduce HP. Unless if the EX super or super type, is it a super type? It is a super type. Hopefully it can be used as a crewmate and can reduce HP. That would be best case scenario. Super Tandem Boost raises Mythical Zoan Egghead by 3 and then Blackbeard's by 6. That's pretty good. And then the super type, it says 2 or more of the following characters. You can launch it as a crewmate, and so it's basically any of the Blackbeard Pirates, changes int into super int, reduces crew's HP by 50%, and reduces 6 turns of special bind. Makes perfect sense. And then you get the conditional boost against defense down enemies, and enemies with increased damage taken by 2x. Int characters type slots and tandem slots will have matching slot effects for 1 turn. Makes int type characters type slots and tandem slots have matching slot effects. Interesting. Okay, so you know it just makes all the natural slots matching for int, and then tandem making them matching is kind of odd because typically teams have a lot of ways to just make tandem matching anyway. I kind of would disregard this. I don't think this is that important. There could be content built around this, but at face value, it doesn't seem that important. But the fact is, this is actually a really good super type. Getting the health cut is really good because you can allow you to get around stun, and you can use it as a crewmate, obviously. But then being able to get a conditional boost against the enemy, especially when you have the special that can inflict increased damage taken to the enemy as well. CATARINA Devon seems like a great addition to the Blackbeard Pirates focused teams. So we'll see if this character is going to be good in Rumble. That's also going to be interesting. One thing is also not mentioned here is that you can see that the level limit break, it still says like 0 out of 1. So it doesn't show that you're getting dupes of this character. Typically, you know, when the new characters come out with the recent update, that can actually determine what level of character this is, depending on whether it's like an Annie, Super Sugo, normal legend. It's hard to tell because it doesn't show it here. But in terms of normal content, I don't see this as being a bad unit. This unit seems perfectly fine. But of course, you don't really care about this unit unless if you have the other Blackbeard Pirates. That's the kind of way that I see it. Let's have a look at the support. Attaches to any Blackbeard Pirate once per quest. If the supported character activates a special, inflict 1.3 increased damage taken. That's pretty good. That's just free damage. Yeah, that's pretty nice. One thing that I have noticed a lot with the Blackbeard Pirates focused supports, this has happened a lot of the times with the previous Blackbeard Pirate stuff, but typically their supports will only trigger once you activate a special. Not a lot of the Blackbeard centric supports trigger when you are inflicted with a buff or a debuff or whatever it is. I know the most recent Blackbeard focus batch that came out, they were all like that, or it's like it had to be a special that like changed your slots around or something. Those supports are like sometimes can be very good, but also very niche at the same time. But still, this is a pretty good support. In Rumble, I did see it was a supporter style unit, treated as a supporter. especially because we had the 6+ of Blackbeard and Vasco shot. Those characters in Rumble required you to have more Blackbeard pirates in order for them to actually work. So hopefully these characters are actually good to make them actually warrant to be pulled for, you know what I mean? Let's see. Rumble special, 25 CT. It does have a super special as well. 3 enemies for 5k fixed. Driven and Powerhouse get level 5 attack, and it's for 30 seconds. It's a pretty nice buff. When 4 more Blackbeard pirates are on the team, target 1 enemy, 100% chance of confusion. That's annoying as hell. It is only 1 enemy targeted, and it isn't specific about which enemy it targets. So this could be good, but also could be bad. When 4 more Blackbeard pirates are on the team, your Blackbeard pirate teammates, not including self, get a 15% CT reduction, and 1 teammate for a 30% reduction. That's a little strange. But you could get yourself in a really cool situation with this. I don't know. It just seems like a little situational, a little RNG dependent, because if you don't confuse the right enemy, then it's kind of eh. And then if you don't get the right charges on the right, the 15% reduction is good. 25 CT, I guess that is respectable considering it's a 25 CT. This is actually pretty good. I was kind of disregarding this. Like if this was like a 30 CT, probably not that good, but 25 is pretty respectable for what it's doing, I think. Super Rumble Special is obviously just way better in almost every facet. You target 2 characters, and then the reduction obviously is way better. No surprise there. The Rumble ability says it targets your Powerhouse and Driven teammates, HP 6, Attack 6, Guard 6, and your Blackbeard teammates 6 defense and level 3 CT increase. Woo! Okay, so I mean, that's pretty good if you're running, you know, the Driven Powerhouse Blackbeard characters, which if you're running Blackbeard pirate characters, they're probably going to be Driven and Powerhouse. So I don't see that being that terrible. Interesting. Again, the real question is going to be whether or not these characters are actually considered as, you know, anniversary exclusive characters. It is a little hard to determine whether or not they are going to be. I'm trying to look on the subreddit Discord whether or not that is going to be the case, but from what I can judge right now, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so I just had some confirmation from some people in the Discord server. It does look like these characters are normal legends, so they are not anniversary exclusive. What it does mean though is that eventually, once the Sugo Fest ends, they will be put into normal tickets and normal legend tickets and stuff moving forward. So you don't have to worry about getting them now. Of course, they're going to be cool to run in a whole Blackbeard squad, but at the end of the day, you don't need to worry about it too much. But that's going to wrap it up for me for this one. We'll bring you guys another video very shortly going through Van Augur, so definitely stay tuned to the YouTube channel for that one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video though. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. It feels pretty cut and dry, right? We're going to be skipping this, at least until half anniversary, seeing what that's going to be, and then most likely we're going to be saving our gems for the New Year's celebration, of course, at the end of the year. Hopefully you enjoyed it though. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.